question paper case study from December 2019. Okay, this is from that particular question paper. So this one I'll be just reading the case. It's a very small case given to you, and there are two questions with 10 marks. So instead of four, 8 or 4, 4, 4, 4, this time we are having two questions of 10 marks each. That is 20 marks question. Okay, so I'll be just start presenting, as well as for this I'll be just reading it, and a small part I'll be explaining. So this is a bit tricky one. Okay, so you should go through it and make sure you are solving it. So I'll be here just to guide you whether you're right or wrong or whatever. Okay, can you see my screen? Yeah, students, please reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the case study, BMW marketing experience about Rover car. So just I'll read it for you once. Okay. BMW marketing experience about Rover car. You can see the date is also mentioned. You can see 23/12/2019 at 1:22:48 p.m. That is December 2019's case study from the question paper. Okay. So BMW, the German car manufacturer, under the business merger, acquired Rover cars. Okay. So Rover cars are from UK. So just a small brief about Rover cars. They are from UK. It's a very old brand. The logo is the Viking sword. Okay, so you can go through it later if you want, but you need to know about this. So if you knew, well and good. Otherwise, this paper, think that you have got it now. So how are you going to solve this? BMW, the German car manufacturer, under the business merger, acquired Rover cars from British Space with brands such as Land Rover, Mini and MG. So the Land Rover, Mini and MG are the brands of Rover. Okay, the company also invested in producing certain new models. The company also invested in producing certain new models. In March 2000, the BMW, however, devastated itself of the Rover car company. That means after buying, it did not go well and it was getting a huge loss. Okay. The decision was based in view of the declining sales of the Rover brand. The sales were declining very fast for the cars of Rover brand. The Rover share of the UK car market declined from 40% in 1960s to around 5% in January 2000. So just see, in 1960s, 40% market share was there, and in the January of 2000, they have dropped to 5%. The BMW had suffered a loss amounting to pound sterling 800 million. Okay, pound sterling is the currency. So pound sterling 800 million in 1999. So there was a huge loss of 800 million sterling, pound sterling. The BMW found Rover to be liability rather than a asset, because more of the losses were being happening from the company and not gains. So they were thinking it as a liability rather than an asset. So this is what is the case study. Okay, there is a company called as Rover, which is being taken over by BMW, and the sales are not doing well. So it was 40% in 1960s, and it came down to 5% in January 2000, and the company had a loss of 800 million pound sterling in 1999. So now coming to the questions, discuss the factors responsible for the decline of Rover sales. And the second one, discuss the consequences of business for mass production car firms in the overcapacity discussion of world car market. So what do you mean by this? So I want someone to just tell me about the first question, or just tell me what you understood by the case study. So if you know about the background, then it is very good. You can write it. Otherwise, you need to speculate. Because just think this paper is being given to you and the state in which you are. Okay. I don't know whether you knew or no. So the same condition you are in. So try to solve this. I'll just help you in getting the right answer. Okay. I will not solve this for you like the other two. We'll have a discussion basically. Okay. Who will start? Tejasvi? Miss Tejasvi, are you there? Yeah, students, am I audible or not? Students, is there a network issue? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What you came to know? Or how can we answer the first question? Discuss the factors responsible for decline of rover sales. So they have not given much. They have just told the sales is been declined. So what might be the factors? So it is for 10 marks, not 4 or 5. That is for 10 marks. So what might be the factors? Can anybody come up with 1 or 2 points? Then we can discuss on that. Yeah, Mr. Ranjit, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So can you give me some points why the car sales came down? So what are the potential? I don't
Uh,
want the exact one. What are the potential reasons for which the sales might have come down?
okay, sir. Sir, actually, I was reading that case study. So,
Okay, but I am not there on the screen.
hello.
Yeah, Ranjit,
Yes, sir.
you want the case study on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Just a second, having some technical issue here. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go through it.
Sir, shall I answer?
Yeah, please.
Sir, it might be for demand, falling of demand, or it might be due to competitors, more competitors.
That is what demand is falling. But why? What are the reasons? So I'll give you some. Okay, people may not have liked the models, or the company is not coming up with new models. These are the very old models you already know, 1960s. So 40% in the sense the company is way before. I mean, they have introduced the cars way before 1960s. Okay, so there might not be any technological advancements. People may not like the interior or may not like the exterior, the car models, right? So what other things might be there?
Sir, average of the car.
They may not be taking care of the customers very well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, their advertisement, their
Any other points?
promotions, their promotions, sir, promotion activity related to the
Okay, they
cars.
may not be doing proper promotional activities or they may not be targeting the right people. Okay, fine, very good.
Yes, sir.
Then what else? So in services, just think what are the things which may lead to the decline of rover sales. So what are the things? What are the factors? What are the reasons? What are the potential reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reason? What might be the cause? What might be the factors? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What might be the reasons? What might be the cause? What mi Yeah. Management might not have been properly taking care of the company, right? So presently, this particular car model is being owned by Tatas. Okay. See Jaguar, JLR, what we call Jaguar Land Rover. So that particular company Rover comes under JLR, that is Jaguar Land Rover. So I don't want that. So this is somewhere around 2000s, where the BMW was trying to sell this, and Tata's came and they bought this particular brand. So, but what do you think the problem or the issue was? Why was the uh, car sales declining? More competition. It can be more competition, right? So
Yes, sir.
basically, I am answering everything.
Sir, it may be
Think,
the high rate of cars, like more amount of
okay,
the
high price of
particular
the
car.
cars,
Yes, sir.
fine. Customer might think the price might be more than what they are getting for. Okay, correct, right? Then others you can answer, not only Ranjit. So if you are having any points, please give. You might know some points regarding to why the sales may go down in a car brand, right? So we cover technological advancements, models, interior, then comes the promotional part, then service not properly done, top level management not taking care of the company. 6 points we have done. Another 4 points. 10 marks, we are looking at 10 points. Okay. Then 10 points with two lines or three lines, you could explain those particular points. Then what else? We are done with the promotions as well. Then I was speaking about the technology. So as many people come up with new cars, when new technologies, if you are not upgrading, we have an issue where people go for the newer cars, newer model cars. Okay. Again, competition. Many players in the market. Previously, there are very few players like Ford, then Lamborghini. So these were the top models where people used to buy. Okay, Mercedes, very few were there. Now we are having a lot of car brands. So that might be one of the reasons where people are getting more number of choices. Previously in India, if you see Maruti and which was the other one? Okay, so mostly there was Maruti only where people used to buy Maruti. So it was a huge sales at one point of time. Around 80% of the market share was held by Maruti. Now it has come to still Maruti is the market leader. It is having around 51 to 52% of market share in India. So similarly, this might be one of the reasons where more number of competitors have come, more number of different variants of the models have come. Okay, so around another two. Oh, that is 6, 7, 8. 8 points we have covered. Another two. I hope you are understanding, right, students? What we are
Yes, sir.
talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So in this way, you need to answer this. So another 2 points. Find out. Okay. Next, moving to the second question, or we'll finish it. You want to answer the another 2 points? Think over it and tell me what could be the another 2 points for a decline of sales. Technical issues in the car which might be overlooked by the people, I mean the company basically, right? So these all things are very much needed for a company to take care of. If they are not looking into the customers, if they are not aware of the competitors, technical issues, so there will be a huge problem, not immediately but in the near future, because new brands and new companies are coming into the market with new and better cars. That means your car will become obsolete in some period of time, because you are not taking care of the technology part or the customer part or the service part of it, right? Hope so. Around 9 points you have covered. So 1 point, think over it and answer. Next, B. Discuss the consequences of business for mass production cars firms in the overcapacity discussion of world car market. So we discussed something about capacity in one of the chapters. So what it is? Capacity is three types: over capacity, optimum capacity, and under capacity. So what do you mean by this? Over capacity is whatever capacity you are having, we are getting more demand than what you have. Okay, optimum capacity, as and when we are getting the orders, we are having adequate amount of capacity to serve them. Okay, under capacity in the sense we are having very less demand than whatever the capacity we are having. So for example, take a restaurant. So if you are having a capacity of serving 50 people at a time, 50, okay, over capacity would be around 80 to 90 people rushing in. That would be over capacity. How do you manage? Optimum capacity, I told 50. Yeah, there are at a point of time there are 45 to 50 customers. So you can optimally serve them properly as and when they require it. Under capacity, you are having 50 people capacity to hold, and there are only 10 or 12 people or 15 people. This is under capacity. So in this question they are asking you, discuss the consequences of business for mass production car firms in the over capacity discussion of the world car market. So what do you mean by this? Mass production, you know why they do? To bring the cost down of the product. Okay, to reduce the cost of the product. So if there are less demand, or if there is less demand or less number of people want to buy your car and you have produced in a large quantity, so what happens? Again there are additional costs. You need to purchase, you need to pay your purchases, I mean your suppliers. You, after production, you need to store them somewhere. Okay, you need to maintain them properly, nothing should happen to them, the products, in this case the cars. So nowadays what they are doing, as and when we are getting the demand, the company is starting the production. So if you go to any showroom, let it be bike or a car, if you go and ask them, they'll tell you if they are having, they'll give you right away. Otherwise, they'll ask you to wait for 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. At times, it had so happened for Royal Enfield bikes. The wait was for around 8 months. You need to wait for 8 months, then your number used to come, then they used to give you your bike. Why this has happened? Because people or the companies are not ready to manufacture and keep the products. Why? Again, year on year, if you see whatever the production in that particular year has happened has to be sold, otherwise it becomes a last year's car. Okay, they say 2020 model, 2019 model. If even you have produced in 2019 or in the new year, we are in the verge of new year, so you have produced in this month, that is December, last week, okay, and you are selling it on the first week of January. Even though you are selling, just there is a 15 days gap, but the model would be 2020 model and you will be looking for 21 model. Just a week's difference will have a huge impact. Okay, so if you go to buy a car, what do you say? I want this year's model. Okay, so there are so many issues like this. As and when you are producing the cars, we need to sell them. So mass production cars are facing a lot of issues due to this. Earlier there were very few brands and people used to buy from those only, so there would be sales. Now we are having hell a lot of different cars in the market with different variants, and there are too many players into the market. So we never know when our car will be sold. So do you want to produce it and keep, or as and when we are getting the order, we need to produce? Because each company is having multiple cars, and in that multiple cars, we are having multiple variants. We never know for which car which variant the customer is going to come and place an order. So to minimize the overhead costs, people, I mean the companies, what they're doing is, as and when you are giving the orders, the company is trying to procure the material and start your production. So we never know how many people like you have placed an order for that particular model. They say 3 months, 2 months, or depending upon the production rate of the company. So this happens. So we can write all these things. Okay, mass production car forms in the overcapacity discussion of the world car market. So they are asking all over the world. So we can take different categories like family cars, like premium cars. So wherever you go, we are having the same issues. Okay, where there were many people who used to buy, now what is happened is many models, many competitors, many variants. So it is difficult for the consumers also. Difficult in the sense they are confused basically to go with what. Okay, they have to go with sedan or a hatchback or a SUV or a normal car. We never know. Okay, and even the seats vary, 5 seaters, 7 seaters. Okay, so people are very much confused. So when they go to a particular showroom, they like a particular car, they inquire about it, then they come out and ask for different people's experience. I mean, those who are having or bought that particular car. Or the other way around might happen. Your friend or relative or someone you know have bought a car and you liked it and you want to go and purchase that particular car. So these all things could be written in the part 2, that is B of the question, and you could suggest them. Yes, previously there was a time where the companies used to produce in mass and used to store them and sell them as and when required. But in the present era, that is not possible because of too many car brands, too many people into the market, too many variants, and the cost involved in pre-production as well as storing the cars. I hope this particular answer you understood. Anyone, any doubts here? Yeah, students, any doubts?
No, sir.
No? So are there any points? So this is a very small case study, other than the previous two case studies. We are having around 8 to 10 lines and there are two questions only. So most of it is you who has to think and write. Much of it is not given here. They have just given there is a car brand, it's been taken over by some other brand, and the sales are declining rapidly from the over a period of time, and they have asked you what might be the reason for the decline of sales. And we need to discuss about the manufacturing, I mean mass production of cars, the companies who are into the mass production of cars all over the world. We are just discussing the consequences of business, what happens, okay, for the mass production car. So they are using the JIT. What is that JIT? Just in time manufacturing. As you want it, you are purchasing the raw materials, manufacturing it, and you are selling it. And whatever the time required to do that is the turnover time. So turnover time from the getting the raw materials from the suppliers to delivering the product to the customer. Okay, so this time is the only time where you need to wait, or depends on how many number of cars are in line or what is your number in the queue. Okay, there might be 20 people and the production may take around 1 month to complete 10 cars. They will tell you to wait for 1 month, or it could be 2 months if your number is somewhere around 15 or 16, because car manufacturing takes place in batches. They'll wait for certain number of cars orders to come in, then they'll start the production. The batch uh, size could be 5, 10, 15, 20, we never know. Okay, because that is economical. They couldn't get only one like spare parts for only one car. So there's a minimum order quantity, MOQ, for which they'll be getting a certain price reduction for the company, okay, from the suppliers. So they need to match that, otherwise they'll not be able to give you the car at whatever the price they have quoted. Okay, so all these things are very much necessary for them. So there is a waiting period. Earlier, yes, huge, they used to buy, they used to produce, and they used to store. But you need to be very careful where you are storing. Nothing should happen. The paint, there should not be any scratches. Okay, there should not be any damage while transportation or while storage. So to avoid all those things, what they're doing is just in time, as and when you want, get the raw material, produce it, or have the process done, then deliver the finished product to the customer. So these are the two things for 10 marks questions where you need to write properly. Okay. So again, I'm repeating, while you are writing the case study, don't write it in paragraphs. Make sure you're writing it in points, so that we'll get to know how many points you have written and a small explanation of those particular points. Write a point and explain for 2 to 3 lines. More than enough. Okay. Always remember, no paragraphs in case studies. I mean, solving the case study. So according to the question, write the number of points and briefly explain and finish it off. Okay, any other doubts, my dear students? Yeah, anyone, any doubts other than this? No one? Yeah, at least answer that you are having no doubts.
No, sir.
No
Alright.
doubt, sir.
Today we
No
are having
doubt.
only one case study.
No,
Okay.
sir.
So in the next class, we'll see what could be done. I'll be getting some other case studies as well. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
we'll stop for today. Okay, students, take care. New year is there. Don't do any mischief. Make sure you are well. Okay. Okay, students. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.